Well, evening, guys. It's still smoky outside of September 23rd, 2021. It's 11:27 at night. I can't sleep. I was perusing again on the YouTube and came across the Young Turks channel. It's been a great while. I would watch it just to see what the hell was going on in life, I guess. He came across something regarding Kenneth Copeland and his issues, apparently. Young Turks like to go after people left and right, especially when they feel like they're in the wrong. Now, when it comes down for televangelists, I hardly ever cross into religion or belief systems and going after people left and right because of that, let alone corporations or even con men. But apparently, this was targeted. I've heard of Kenneth Copeland. I've heard of him as a conservative Christian, Bible-thumping, fire and brimstone, and he don't believe in anything else but whatever he's selling at this point. Not to mention, don't believe in science in the first place. And what was being reported concerning about him on his shows, he would demand a lot of money. I had come across televangelists since the 70s, and we just were watching television growing up as a kid. Now, there have been some televangelists out there. I may not remember their names, but I remember their faces. One of which had an empire being developed that lasted for about 20 to 30 years, and it helped me out a great deal, and a few other people. Unfortunately, because of financial and politics happening within their own, fell all apart. But within a short time span, it was something I could latch on to. It was something I could hold on to and appreciate. Robert Schuller Ministries, Robert H. Schuller Ministries, The Hour of Power. I started out with a damn drive-in. No, not damn. It's just a drive-in in Orange County. And a drive-in theater. Preaching. Got to a point where he needed to build buildings. He got support. He built his buildings where it used to stand right by the 5 freeway. And he would do his televised ministry there. My grandmother and I and my great aunt, before they both passed away, would watch this. It was on either Channel 11 or Channel 9 that they would have the Hour of Power. And we would see this, hear the music, hear the people coming up and preaching the gospel, preaching sermons, and we were inspired. Not to mention, we saw the informational pamphlets that they would mail out for those who actually would get some kind of subscription or something going on, or even send donations in, and they would obtain a week's worth of scripture, something to help the people out with their day-to-day existence. Positive, uplifting messages. Schuller had depended upon Norman Vincent Peale, for his own inspiration regarding his own ministry and getting things going. Every so often, Norman Vincent Peale would visit the Hour of Power and deliver his own message to the people. Got to the point where, back in the 80s, 90s, Schuller had amassed a great deal that he needed to get a property going to really spread the word and have a bigger church to house a lot of people in, but to build a bigger ministry to serve the community as much as he could. Now, I never heard of any major issues during that time regarding his ministry. At least I wasn't paying attention to that in the first place. All I knew was the books I was reading from him, all his inspirational material, even a few tchotchkes here and there, some of which I've lost. A couple of them I still have somewhere around here. It still says a fingerprint of love that nobody else removed. Even a mail letter opener, envelope opener. The rest of them, long gone. Can't even find them on eBay. Sometimes you could get them over at the church. Most of the time it was just mail order. But it was pretty special for some of those items anyway. Christmas ornaments anyway. Christmas angel bell and a dove. Cross. Use those things for Christmas all the time. And they were special. Special because we put a lot of meaning in them. There was a lot of meaning coming out of it to it. But just reading the books and hearing the messages, you know, sometimes I had to draw inspiration one way or another. Sometimes when you feel like you were just looking and feeling for something positive in your life, you open up a book and here it is. Something staring in front of your face like, wow. I didn't think about that when it first was. Especially when Schiller was writing his Be Happy Attitudes book. There have been a few other books I've read. But the Be Happy Attitudes was one of those major bestsellers of the 80s and 90s that one had to have. Fortunately, those were one of the books that got sold off a long time ago. But at the time, it was needed. But again, I never heard of any problems that the Schillers were having during that time. Until they lost their empire. Then the stories came out. Pay attention to much of them anyway. I'm not going to give further credence into the situation. All I can tell you is this was one particular televangelist that actually helped me and my family out when I needed it the most. Not with the visits, though, but even with the messages that they were being broadcasting. And to me, it was well worth it. There have been some times when they actually had the Glory of Easter and Glory of Christmas that my brother and my mother and I would go to. At least one or two sessions of it. And saw it. It was beautiful. Even at one time we went over to the Christmas Eve services. Traveled all the way from San Fernando Valley all the way over to Garden Grove just to see this. Once in a lifetime thing, I'll tell you. It was something to see it. Something to go through it. And sometimes I miss those days. Besides family being over there, it was just something special about it anyway. Not about the building, but about the people. I actually cared about you. A rare thing these days. Especially when I kept hearing about other televangelists trying to scam people left and right because they want money for this and money for that one. How about an amusement park for all those Christians that actually donated? Fell through. They still had bakers for that one. But now you got guys like Copeland coming out there left and right asking for more and more money because they need to do God's work more and more often. We don't like commercial, we don't like hordes of people, we don't like this, we don't like that. We want our own airport and we want our own jets. This is what I'm hearing. This is the kind of scandal that usually stays off the radar from like crazy. Unless you have a major news event happening, like if this was a character-driven situation regarding this guy, you'll never hear it on the news unless the guy was implicated in something that actually grabbed the major news attention. Back in the 80s, they did. Character counted, and if anything happened that screwed up character, my God, I saw the news reports up to yin-yang. These days, you put them on YouTube to get them buried alive. So, I hear the people scamming left and right. They want. And then the people are trying to call them on it and say, look what this guy's done. Look what this guy has said. Look. I listen. I shake my head. I tune out. Go to another channel. I'm like, no, not dealing with it. If there are indeed false prophets out there, if there are indeed true prophets out there, I've only a few true prophets that have already passed away, even if they actually did have excess baggage, but still they helped out, so I don't blame. I've known some ministers in my life that wouldn't go for that kind of situation, going for being put on the air just to see that they can get the message out. Well, you get the message out without putting yourself on the air, but if you put yourself on the air, you're making yourself a target at this point over here, public. Which means you're going to be under public scrutiny, which means the people are going to be wanting more and more and more of you. I hadn't thought of this line of thinking, I don't think not for a long while, or ever. How did Jesus happen to deal with fame and fortune? Or should I just fame? No fortune. His reputation spread throughout the region of works being done, people being healed one way or another, spirits uplifted. And wherever he walked, wherever he talked to, now wherever he served, he left an impression on people to where a lot of people expected more and more and more from him. If you're claiming you're the Son of God, then we got to put the pressure on you. What else can you do? We have these things over here. Let's put you through a circus, shall we? I think it's an unfair accusation of putting myself in that kind of characterization there, but to be bluntly about it, yeah, that's the situation right there. If we actually did have a prophet walking around in this day and age, we wouldn't know about it. Unless, of course, he actually wanted to be put on the radar. If he actually did want to be put on social media, or she, for that matter, or they, be placed on the radar and then broadcasted to everybody. When Gandhi was living and he was struggling with his own belief system and his own struggles in India, trying to first get South America free, then working in his native country, India, trying to get that free, but also dealing with the split between the Muslims and the Hindus. Reputation of him, I think, was the only defense he actually had against what was going on around him, because he had struggled so much and hard for the people of his country, regardless of who and what they believed in. He didn't care. He loved the people and he loved his country. And he didn't want it to be torn apart by anybody, outside or inside. Watching the movie that Ben Kingsley actually portrayed him, it was amazing to see this. It was amazing to see this. In the 80s, I'm watching this, and I didn't have any context of who or what Gandhi was in the first place. And after watching the film a few times, I still didn't have that much. I had to go through research on this one, just to read up about him, and then try to understand about his philosophies. It took me a hell of a long while up to this age to really appreciate what he was trying to do. Not for his country, but I think for the soul of his country, the soul of the people itself. What he was trying to accomplish. He was trying to save everybody and didn't even realize it. He was one of our, let's just say it, he was one of our modern day prophets out there trying to tell people of how to live, how to be nice to people left and right. He called himself a Hindu, a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian. He was a lot of things. He was just a man trying to live simply, and he did. Very simply, off the land, but he lived simply. He didn't own that much. He didn't want that much. His upbringing and his belief system was just keeping things really, really simple. However, complicated things got around him. People expected miracles out of this guy. And he was just one man trying to struggle it all. You know, he was trying to do the best he could. And I think he felt like the universe was against him and on his shoulders all the time. That I don't know how he kept up with his faith in order to accomplish what he did. But because he struggled, got my respect. Got my respect. Even when he had to put his own life on the line, literally, to stop a country from tearing itself apart. He even took a bullet for it. It's not taking a bullet. It's prior to that when he had to go through fasting. If the people loved him more than hating themselves or hating everybody else, if they really valued his word, he was gambling with his life that people would stop in the name of him. And I think that also what gets to people, because when you think that you're more higher than anything else, it's like you're going to be doing everything else necessary to do your task. And at certain points, he was reminded of his own mortality, his own frailty, but he was no God and he was no Jesus. But he still had to struggle with that identity. He still had to struggle with it. It's how I have interpreted it all these years. I know nonviolence approach on a lot of things kind of worked out in certain circumstances. Other times, unfortunately, you never had the choice unless you take a baseball bat to every single situation, and he didn't like that in the first place. Made me have a lot of respect for the guy. Respect to the actor, but also respect to the man, Gandhi himself. Babu. So, when you have people of humble beginnings and about trying to do whatever they're going to be doing, those guys I can respect. Those people I can try to respect left and right. And it may seem like they are impossible. Probably the most impossible people ever, because they put everything else on the line, including their own damn ego. They're no gods, they're no saints. They're fallible, they're imperfect, they screw up a lot, they're humans. And because of that, you either love the guy or you got to respect him just a little bit enough to appreciate him. But if you really hate the guy, then you really got something about this guy, don't you? But when I keep hearing about people who want more because they want it, and they're going to get money out of you one way or another, I don't feel sorry. I say, sucker. There are people out there that can scam you left and right without you even realizing it. I'm no fool. But then again, I have to be on a 24-hour paranoia trip here. I don't go for people with their religious beliefs saying, give me more money because I need this and I need to accomplish that damn thing. But I don't want to be by other people, you understand that? And don't you understand the evils of man right now after you gotta give me money so I can put you more bullshit down your throat? I'm going to say, here's some Xanax, here's a straitjacket, go in the corner, have fun. I'm going to be over here. No, you gotta listen to me, because the world's coming to an end. Dude, chill out. Don't you understand? I'm your only prophet. Okay, I'm going to move over here now. Don't let me get a gag over here and gag your mouth. You still need to breathe and eat. Now wait just a second here, sonny boy. Okay, that's it. Goodbye. I'll just move off over here. If we do actually have any prophets, if we do have any people who are trying to preach something worthwhile to people, that's one thing. But demanding fealty and money in return for this wonderful message? No, thank you. I can only say that people who follow the Tammy Faye and Jim Bakkers, the Kenneth Copelands of the world, who believed in that kind of crap, who got you conned and suckered left and right. Well, his money soon to be parted. I'm not laughing about the damn thing. It's bad enough I got people coming after me left and right because they can. And the problem is, I'm usually turning a blind eye and blocking them left and right on social media. Oh, no, we're not doing this shit again. It's gotten so bad on social media these days that I have to block people left and right. Especially when I get so many damn likes from the same person. I know I'm being followed. So, block here, block there. Just stay the hell away from me, will you? I've got no interest and no time for your damn antics. I'll be your friend. I'll get my crucifix. Hopefully with a sharpened end at the end. And a mallet. Back off, vampire. I'll find some garlic salt around here. I still got a few partials of it left. And by the way, how's your skin during sunlight? Oh, I just enjoy the tan, it's all. I can't tell you how many people I've been running across in situations like that where they're coming after me left and right, and I don't even know the reason why. Look at me. I'm old and fat and wrinkly. I got gray hairs left and right. They think I got money. Ha! I'll be lucky enough I've got 2 cents rubbed in my damn pocket. Actually, I got about $1 worth of coinage. That's about all I've got on me. But as for dealing with other people left and right, sorry, didn't say sucker on my forehead. Despite the fact you may have some visual acuity issues. with your own eyesight. For that, since it's becoming closer and closer to midnight, it'll be Friday. Yay. We're still having smoke issues coming from Northern California fires, and I have to mention for the Sequoia areas in the mountains. So we're going to be smoked out like crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything or not tomorrow, because we still have smoke-related issues, and that is going to be probably another video on that one. Till then, no smokies.